Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi has ordered his foreign ministry to write a report concerning a video prepared by the Temple Institute in Israel that has been denounced as offensive to the Egyptian leader. The video clip, which was posted on YouTube 1 week ago, has had 230,000 hits since then. It shows two Israeli children on the beach with their father. The youngsters are building a model of the temple out of sand. After they finish, the father drops his newspaper to the ground, and it falls to his feet, showing Morsi's photograph. The movie was made ahead of Tisha B'Av, 9th day of the Hebrew month of Av, which marks the destruction of the first and second temples. The fast will begin Saturday night. IBA TV spoke with the head of the Temple Institute, Rabbi Chaim Richman, about the meaning of the fast and the video.
The Holy Temple is not just the symbol of light and peace and tranquility, as the prophets tell us, but that's really what we believe it brings to the world. And, the whole idea of this video is we try to give a different kind of perspective of these days, that it doesn't have to be so heavy and so dark and so black, from the time that Av enters in, states the halacha, we minimize our joy, we abstain from certain physical pleasures, and it's kind of like we're going through this whole rite of mourning, but the emphasis should really be on the positive. The emphasis should be on the hope that the Jewish people will succeed in bringing the light of the Shekhinah, the divine presence, back into the world. And so the way the video works is that, the father, he takes his kids to the beach, and he's completely, after he puts on the sun cream, he goes his way, and he's completely self-absorbed in, the news of the day, horrible news, all sorts of things. And the day passes, the sunlight changes throughout the video, and by the end of the day, the kids are pulling on him, he has to be, pulled on a couple of times even to get out of his reverie, and then they literally drag him to see what they've done, and he's totally shocked. He drops the paper, this is what the kids were thinking about. If you would have asked the adult, can you build the Holy Temple? Today, he would have said, are you kidding? Look at the news. I'm worried about the future. I'm worried about my own children. But yet, this is what the children were doing. So the idea is, it bespeaks innocence. It's full of light and the sea, which is a symbol of eternity, and it's comforting. And the children are just being natural. They're just enjoying being children. And so our whole idea here, really, about Tisha B'Av and the Holy Temple is that it's like the inner child of the Jewish people that we're trying to reconnect with.
But isn't that a little bit naive? Yes, children can build the temple in the sand, but that's not dealing with the reality of the world.
But, reality is also subjective, and the children haven't been taught yet that there are certain things that are impossible. The children haven't yet been taught that they can't think about certain things. So, and that idea of unspoiled childhood, like I mentioned, the psychological idea of the inner child, that's really who we are. We don't have to be afraid of ourselves. We don't have to be afraid of our own potential. But after all, again, we're not talking, God forbid, about rebuilding the temple right now. We're talking about the idea of reconnecting with the vitality of what the temple is, and slowly trying to find a way of bringing this consciousness back to the Jewish people and the world, that it's not something that we have to be afraid of, that it's something that we have to embrace. Nothing is going to change if we go through this mourning cycle, the rite of mourning, year after year, thinking that one day, if we're good children, the temple is going to come down from heaven, in a fiery hologram. You know what? The miracles that the Jewish people believe in are the miracles that we bring about. That's how there are miracles in the world, because God uses the Jewish people when they have enough gumption to believe in themselves and in the righteousness of their own path and their own purpose. And so it's not only about believing in God, it's about believing in ourselves.
6 days after Tisha B'Av on the Jewish calendar comes the minor holiday of Tu B'Av, or the 15th of Av. It's celebrated as a holiday of love, similar to Valentine's Day. In honor of the joyous day, which falls next